Critical national assets and infrastructure by miscreants has become a growing concern for citizens, security agencies, and governments. Some of this infrastructure include pipelines, railway, national grid, among others. Residents of Bayelsa State have continued to experience power outage owing to vandalization of power infrastructure. What measure can be put in place to curb the vandalization of some of this infrastructure? How can citizens and leaders across various communities contribute to the security of these critical assets with huge benefits for the people? Our guest on this program will be sharing his thoughts. Thank you for joining us on Panorama from Port Harcourt Network Center. I am Dibabari Sidoma Wiki. Welcome. More advocacies are needed for African solutions to African problems and the need for more collaboration between the African Union and the Economic Community of West African States. Gaba Natala reports that this was submission of West African ambassadors who met in Abuja to discuss the African and global shifts in governance, peace and security in the West African region.
Is to also strengthen consolidation of democracy and effective governance so that it can yield human security and peace dividends. This is very, very critical for all member states.
What we have been bringing forward is African solutions to African problems. And by that means we have to take ownership and make sure that we mobilize resources and provide the political will in order to address our challenges.
You raise one challenge, another one comes up. You cannot industrialize unless you have infrastructure, which is power, that is key.
We can no longer depend whether on foreign assistance or foreign countries to help us or to tell us exactly what to do.
Collaboration will reinforce the essential role of solidarity and partnership in achieving lasting peace and stability across the region.
Highlighted key areas to focus on underlying issues driving instability across the entire African continent. The presidential initiative on compressed natural gas has taken a 25% stake in LNG Areta, a mini LNG plant in Ajaokuta, Kogi State. Director and Chief Executive of PCNGI, Michael Oluwagbemi, is optimistic that the strategic partnership underscores Nigeria's commitment to harnessing its gas resources for national development. Lydia Sampson reports.
Of putting pen to paper seals a partnership which aims to bolster CNG supply to the far north and other underserved communities. Both partners acknowledge that the investment aligns with President Bola Tinubu and the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative's goal to promote gas as a cheaper, cleaner alternative energy source for transportation, enhancing energy accessibility and supporting economic growth in remote regions.
To transform that liquefied natural gas to compressed natural gas that can be utilized by our power plants as well as our vehicles and other industries. So this is about industrialization at first instance. The many industries across the north, from textile to agriculture to processing to manufacturing, will benefit hugely from this project.
Part of what we're doing is then saying, how do we take it from where it originates to where it needs to be used? So that gas can be used for mobility CNG, which is cleaner, cheaper gas. It can be used for industrialization, used for power, used to grow our economy generally.
With the partnership setting up a 7 million standard cubic feet per day mini LNG facility in Ajakuta, it can supply the north with gas. It is also an avenue to invite investors to invest in setting up CNG infrastructure, which has been a major challenge in domestic gas supply and utilization in Nigeria, especially in the north. To this effect, optimism is high that this partnership will help unlock the midstream and downstream gas value chains. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Also, show of unity, patriotism and commitment to peace as the Nigerian Police Force begins activities marking the National Police Day with a symbolic peace walk in Abuja. Francis Vom reports.
The Peace Walk, which began at the Louis Edet House, the force headquarters, proceeded to the Unity Fountain. And returned to the force headquarters, drawing participation from all ranks of the force. Leading the walk is the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of training and human development, Frank Mba, accompanied by the wife of the Inspector General of Police, senior officers including AIGs, Commissioners of Police, and men and women of the force.
We must own the Nigerian Police Force as a people. We must support the Nigerian Police Force. We must work with them. We must create that enabling environment for the Nigerian Police Force to excel and also to serve the people better.
The message I have for Nigerians is that we should be security conscious. Police is your friend. You have to give information to the police to be able to exercise their duties.
The event underscores the force's renewed commitment to fostering peaceful coexistence and building stronger ties with the public, in line with the ongoing reforms under the leadership of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. As the Nigeria Police Force commemorates National Police Day, today's Peace Walk serves as a reminder of the force's dedications to safeguarding the nation, one step at a time. Francis from NTA News.
Willful destruction of public utilities has become a growing concern with far-reaching consequences impacting public safety, economic stability, and national security. In this report, Ifeoma Misa takes a look at the menace and measures to curb it.
A number of extant laws make the destruction of government property in Nigeria a crime, which can lead to imprisonment with severity of the penalty depending on the type of property and the level of damages. The punishment for acts of vandalism and malicious destruction of public utilities, such as pipeline vandalism, railway infrastructure, electricity installations, setting fire to public building, vessels, aircraft, among others, varies from 2, 14, 21 years in the correctional center to life imprisonment. Despite these punishments, some miscreants have continued to indulge in the crime unabated. The attacks on public utilities and vandalism of infrastructure have no doubt impacted negatively on the socioeconomic growth of the country. Worrisome is the fact that these infrastructures are provided for the benefit of the people.
As citizens, we are supposed to protect any public utilities or facilities that have been provided by the government.
Public utilities are meant for the public because the government installed these utilities for the benefit of the public and also for the states.
What further measures should be adopted to stem the tide, and how can communities across the nation contribute to the security of these critical assets?
A lot of people are also not aware of these laws, so there is need for sensitization, there is need to create awareness of the laws and the consequences of breaking these laws.
We have to secure the properties because it belongs to us. So whatsoever that vandalize any government facility should be in prison.
Stakeholders are of the opinion that the implementation of the penalty for such crimes will go a long way in addressing the challenges of vandalism. In Port Harcourt, Ifoma Omisa, NTN.
And to throw more light on the need to protect our national asset is Kennedy Donju West. He is President Movement for the Survival of the Zone Ethnic Nationality in the Niger Delta region. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Okay. We'll be looking at our national assets. How best can we enhance security along the corridors of our national assets to ensure that they are well protected?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to create an awareness. The essence of youths trying to attack national assets, could be caused by several, issues. But some of the reasons you have is a lack of opportunities, lack of economic opportunities. That is what could cause it. However, lack of awareness is very key, because even when these assets are there, because they say an hungry man is an angry man, they don't see the essence of protecting those properties. So there should be more advocacy within the national asset, and also punitive measures. It's one thing to build the facilities and know that these are through the source which the country makes money to engage in development. However, they also do not see that they need to protect it. So if government comes up with stringent punitive measures, it will be as a deterrent to, scare these youths away. Outside of that, the youths have a lot of talent, potentials that are on tap. So one should look at engagement that within those areas where you have, consistent attack, more advocacy, more engagement within community youth leaders, security, and even the monarchs and women. So they become more aware of what these assets are and how to protect it.
Okay. Talking about the youth and then engagement and more advocacy, do you think the advocacy that has been done in the communities is not enough? Apart from that, don't you think they need to know that attacking these assets will also affect them negatively? So what do you think they should be done differently?
First of all, like we said, an hungry man is an angry man. And the youths within the community, what are the activities within that community? Okay. Is it occultism? It's sea piracy. It's one illegal activity or the other. That's how they spend their life, 24 hours and then on and 7 days a week like that. Now, these facilities also help in raising revenue for the government, but they don't feel it. Let's take, for instance, the Niger Delta and the oil-producing communities. If you go to our community, you'll be shocked at the deplorable situations within our community. Government is doing quite a lot, but sometimes we don't know why those projects are not seen in the community. So government should do more community engagement. And then opportunities. If these youths within the community are economically empowered, they will see the need to protect these facilities. Thank God for the wisdom of government to not only engage the military on pipeline protection, but also bringing in the community content like Pipeline Infrastructure, Nigerian Limited, and then Tantita. All of these groups help to mop up a huge chunk of unemployed youths. However, there are still other youths who are also out there who do not see the need, or who have not been engaged. And those people go from time to time and tamper with these facilities. If they know that these are the punitive measures that government has slated, I mean, you cannot imagine that you have somebody indulging national crime, as in oil theft and then illegal bunkering. What is the punitive measure? Government have not come out so far to enlighten the people on what are these measures. If these measures are in place, and then government do strategic engagement with the community, creating more employment opportunities. Let me take, for instance, there are a lot of obsolete pipes within the Niger Delta region. Those pipes have been laid since 1960s. Because of corrosion, wear and tear, they cause damages to our environment. Those pipes need to be evacuated. If government impress on the companies to remove those pipes from there, the removal of the pipe, decommissioning of those pipes alone will create an employment opportunities. Maintenance within their facilities will create employment opportunities. And then there is also need to take development and project activities down to the creeks of the Niger Delta. Anywhere where you have littoral states, littoral countries, you find out that that country is economically in boom, constant economic boom, because of the activities that go on. But if you go to our creeks, you find out that there are little or no development around there. And that's why our youth have seen that place as, as an hideout to do their sinister act, which include sea piracy, kidnapping, and other illicit activities.
Okay. Still talking about the youth now. I suppose there are supposed to be some security agencies or in the communities that should protect this assets. And then we have these youths, vandalizing this asset. Don't you think the communities are not doing enough to, to put out their security agencies, maybe like the some other security agencies around the community, to also protect these infrastructures?
I think that the community needs to do, and government too needs to do now. In the part of the community, yes, the community youth leaders will always engage the youth, but there are some who, because of maybe the rifles in their hands, the guns that they have, they become King Kong in the community and engage on those illicit acts. And you don't expect armless community youths who are leaders to engage such people. They will be intimidated, they will be harassed, they will be molested, and at the end of the day, they might even be killed. So there is a little to which this community engagement can do. However, government's effort is also yielding results. Not too long ago, Mr. President directed the Chief of Defense Staff to swing into action, ensuring that there is a drastic reduction, if not total elimination of the illegal bunkering and oil theft. That is yielding results. Not too long ago, you also know that there was an increase in production. Yes, government is doing fine. Yes, they're also engaging community participation, which is the Pipeline Infrastructure Nigerian Limited and Tantita. However, there is also need for us to look at areas of decentralization in some of the areas so that more people will be engaged in it. And then more sensitization. The youth in the community do not know that some of the diseases, the respiratory diseases, the skin diseases, the blindness that is now ravaging the community is as a result of the pollution within our environment, as a result of, the pipeline vandalism and all of that. So more sensitization, awareness needs to be created. That's what Musien is also doing.
Okay, so that means advocacy will go a long way to have an impact on protecting these assets.
Of course it will, because if they know, if the people in the community, our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, even the youths who engage in it, knows that they are responsible for the untimely death of hundreds of their cousins, their kids and kin, their kinsmen within that community, they will look for another way out. But if you come up with they just believe that the pipes are close to them and they should benefit from it.
Okay. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on this program this morning, Kennedy. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I will take a short break now, and when we return, the program continues. Stay tuned. River State Administrator Vice Admiral Ibo says an appropriation bill for 2025 is being articulated to provide for critical development concerns in healthcare delivery, education, agriculture, and infrastructure. He gave the hint when he received in audience a delegation of Rivers State caucus in the National Assembly led by Senator representing Rivers South East District, Dr. Barinada Mpigi at Government House, Port Harcourt. Osinachi Samuel reports.
River State Administrator Vice Admiral Ibok Etaibas, who received members of the state caucus in the National Assembly, says he has been resolute since assumption of office as efforts have been geared towards restoration of law and order with support from the security agencies. He stated that he is also committed to achieving a stable economy that will enable the citizens pursue their livelihood without fear of molestation. The administrator further noted that to get the task done, the support of the legislators will be required as key representatives of Rivers State in the National Assembly.
Our goal has been to create an environment where our citizens can live in safety and pursue their livelihoods without fear. The people of Rivers State have shown incredible resilience and patience, and I assure you that we are committed to ensuring that this peace remains lasting.
Leader of the delegation, Senator Barinada Mpigi, said as representatives of Rivers State at the National Assembly, they have resolved to support efforts that will bring development to the state.
At a time of uncertainty, which leaves many vulnerable in several ways, your compassionate and meticulous approach is bringing stability and restoring confidence.
This is the first time since the declaration of state of emergency the National Assembly members are visiting the administrator. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
River State Sole Administrator Vice Admiral Ibokita Ibas says the Trans-Calabari Road project serves as one strategic effort at addressing associated socio-economic difficulties experienced by residents in the riverine communities. He made the remark when he embarked on an inspection tour of the ongoing road project in Rumolumeni community in Obiakpo local government area. Osinachi Samuel reports.
The River State Administrator Ibok Etaibas, while inspecting the Trans-Calabari Road project and the ongoing Permanent Secretary's quarters, says it is imperative that the projects are completed, particularly the Trans-Calabari Road, as it will contribute immensely to boosting the socio-economic status of River State and Nigeria at large.
I think I was also assured that the accommodation will be delivered on time so that those who require them will be able to settle down to do their work. Much aware of the very difficult and challenging terrain around here in terms of communicating between communities. This project, when completed, I think will boost the socio-economic life of the state and the nation as a whole. And we're hoping and imploring the contractors to make sure that they keep to the timelines. I think the state has been able to meet up with its own obligation in terms of making available resources for them. So we're counting on them to keep to the completion time.
At the civil servants' quarters designated for permanent secretaries, Vice Admiral Ibas pointed to some challenges experienced by civil servants who, he said, need comfortable housing facilities to enable them perform better at the workplace. He reiterated that he is steering the process of building a peaceful state
and Rivers people will remain the greatest beneficiaries. In Port Harcourt, Osinachi Samuel, NTA News.
And that's it on Panorama from Port Harcourt Network Center. Thank you for watching. Good afternoon.